So my name is Nate Silver. My blog is called 538.com. It's spelled out F-I-V-E, 38.com. What we try to do is lend intelligent analysis to polling, other kinds of political statistics, for lack of a better term. So, there's a lot of focus on the horse race in the media. Obviously, it can be a lot of fun, but oftentimes polls are taken out of context. People kind of hyperventilate about one particular polling result when you have to look at the big picture, look at the electoral map too. It's not a popular vote contest. So we have all kinds of maps and charts and graphs and commentaries, trying to be, an intelligent comment on polling and other kinds of data like that.
And what polls do you kind of aggregate? I assume that's what you're kind of doing?
For sure. That's a big part of it. We take every poll we can find, pretty much, except for partisan polls. If a campaign releases a poll, it's usually going to be biased in their candidate's direction, so we ignore those. But any public poll for any kind of news organization we look at, but we don't treat them all equally. Some polls have a much better track record than others, and so we weight the polls based on how effective they've been in the past. And if a poll has a lean toward Obama, a lean toward McCain, where it seems more partisan, we can correct for that. If a poll has a larger sample size, that helps. We can correct for that. So, we do look at as much data as we can get our hands on, but we know there's good data and bad data. Some polls are very scientific. Some are kind of throwing darts, at a map and seeing what happens.
Okay. Now, do you come to the polling interest? He was explaining to us that you're kind of a sabermetrics guy.
Yeah, I started out in baseball. I also worked for a site called Baseball Prospectus. So, in baseball,
Bill James.
It's the Bill James kind of stuff. Yeah, it's so that's taking statistical perspectives on baseball. And in baseball, there are so many statistics as part of the fabric of the game, where you always have. If you turn on a White Sox game, you'll hear 10 statistics in every kind of minute of radio broadcast. But a lot of times, the statistics used are not especially meaningful, where something like batting average, for instance, might not be as accurate as like on base percentage for describing how people get on base and help to create runs, or kind of RBIs versus slugging percentage. So we try and take the same attitude toward politics, where people look at the numbers anyway, but we want to provide context and an informed point of view on how to actually read a poll. It's not quite as straightforward. It's just kind of saying, oh, it's tied, McCain's ahead, Obama's ahead. It's actually giving you an informed take on what it all means, and what's it really mean to have a poll in August or September anyway versus when you have the election in November. How much will the polls move? I mean, quite a bit, especially until you have the convention period over with. The polls right now won't really mean anything in 3 weeks. Everything will kind of be reset. So that's the kind of stuff we strive to achieve.
Now, how did you get to the point where you crossed, I guess, your interest in baseball stats and political polling? Are you an economist? I mean, are you a stats guy? Where did this come from?
My degree's in economics, so that's kind of the perspective. So I'm looking for meaning, really, right? We're taking data. We're not looking at data for data's sake, but we want to explain phenomenon, whether it's in baseball. Why do teams win? That's the basic question in baseball. Why are the White Sox good this year when they were not very good last year? And in polling, why McCain's gaining ground maybe right now, why is that? Is that you have disaffected Hillary supporters? You have the Republican base coming together? So we have to kind of go a level deeper. And first of all, though, you do need to know how to read the polls accurately. So taking not just a snapshot, but looking at all 50 states and all polls from all states, and really kind of knowing what to do with that, and then you can start to actually come to some firmer conclusions about what actually makes the numbers move and change.
Now, clearly you're a White Sox fan, I'm guessing.
Providing an example, I'm more of a White Sox guy. I went to school at UFC, so you kind of grow up with the South Side element a little bit.
Okay. But what do you find as a strength in Chicago to be kind of an elections-oriented guy in terms of polling?
Well, you do have more and more of the kind of party infrastructure, Democratic Party, moving to Chicago, with Obama essentially taking over the DNC. But it is a great political city. I think the fact that you can take, because we are a blue state now, it's not a swing state, so you can take more of a national point of view and stay, relatively neutral. But you have a lot of people who have great, political minds in Chicago. I think Chicago people like the horse race. They don't mind a few elbows being thrown here and there. So I think it's a good, fun place to kind of, headquarter a blog like this.